Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for October 10, 2023, the CEOs Misbehaving edition. We begin with that story from the Financial Times entitled, Why Personal Conduct is a Growing Business Risk. Embarrassing revelations about senior leaders can damage trust and cause significant upheaval at organizations. We have, of course, the CEO of BP who has stepped down for failure to disclose past relationships with employees, CNN worldwide president Jeff Zucker, and the notorious Steve Easterbrook from McDonald's. Well, these are now becoming a high priority as financial risks. The board's discussions have historically not focused on these. Directors now have to make judgments based on what is socially acceptable as well as legal and ethical to ensure they maintain the confidence of multiple stakeholders. So, who's leading your company and what's in their wallet? Next up from Reuters. This article takes a look at the SEC's current battle to get Elon Musk to testify into his $44 billion takeover of Twitter. He was issued a subpoena for a deposition, and he didn't show. So this one seems pretty clear-cut. Although the stakes are lower, this case shines a light on the extraordinary feud between Musk and the SEC. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this one, because when you don't answer a subpoena from the government without filing any sort of motion to quash, you definitely put yourself up in difficult situations. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. is probing a Russian sanctions violations or alleged violations of a major oil trader, Murtaza Lakhani, founder and chief executive of Mercantile and Maritime Group, traded Russian oil in breach of Western sanctions, or is alleged to have done so. So the DOJ is conducting a broad effort to crack down on sanctions violations, and this may be the first of many violations that we see. And finally, a big shout out to Claudia Goldin, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics for groundbreaking research on the differences between men and women in the job market and why women's pay was traditionally lower than men's pay. So the third woman to win a Nobel in economics. Congratulations, Claudia Goldin. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.